Are you ready to go all in?
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this.
And welcome to the All In Practice Growth Podcast. I'm your host, Shane McElroy. I'm so glad you joined us today because I'm live here in Charlotte, North Carolina at a training course, a CIA training course. Shh, not that CIA, the Clinicians Implant Academy. So I'm excited to be here today because my guest is actually married to a former guest, Dr. Whitney Kapitan, but she's kind of a big deal. She's the president of the CIA. She's the president of the Southern Academy of Pediatric Specialists, and we'll get into a little bit about that. But she's also in kind of the brotherhood, sisterhood of former dental implant reps. And that to me, well, that's all the credibility you need with a guy like me. So welcome to the podcast, Whitney Kapitan. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Shane, and kudos to a former implant rep like yourself. Yeah. It was easy to hit it off with you that way.
Yeah, easy, because we got our war stories and we could talk a little bit about that. But before we kind of get into the podcast, why don't you give everybody a little bit, got a high-level background about you?
Sure. So I grew up in the North Carolina area, Lake Norman, and it's a beautiful place. I wish I had known about real estate investment as a 7-year-old. Would have been great. And I stayed in the Carolinas, and from career-wise, after getting out of college, I thought about going to law school, except I paid for college by working in law firms, and I saw a lot of unhappy people in the law field.
Side note, I also applied to law school, got in, and then didn't go because my father, who's an attorney, says, you don't want to do this.
You don't want to do this. I saw a lot of unhappy people, and I'm a happy person. I like to have fun, and sales is a really good avenue for that.
Yeah. That's what my dad said. He's like, listen, you'll make more money doing it. Like,
you will. Better quality of life. And that was where we started.
And I can barely read, so that would have been a problem being an attorney.
Oh, gosh, math for me is the problem. So the reading part's fine, but no math, thanks.
Well, you'd be okay as an attorney. And now with AI, you don't need to.
You don't really need to do it.
Yeah. Well, sorry I interrupted. Keep going.
No worries. I got laid off at the age of 23.
Wow. That's a welcome to the working world.
It really was. I thought I was too young for that to happen to me in pharmaceutical sales, but I was wrong. And quickly thereafter, though, I got involved with a full-service dental laboratory in South Carolina. They said, we will train you for dental if you have sales experience. And that was such an incredible welcome into the world of dental. And it started a career path for me back then.
Yeah, no joke. Starting the lab is actually a great way to start, especially if you get into implants later.
That's correct. And so really I went from one job to another being recruited after that. So I was with the laboratory for about 6 years, and they were tremendous in providing quality education for me. I got to go to courses with Spear. I got to go to Chapel Hill courses. I was introduced to Dawson Institute.
That's like top tier right there.
It was really incredible. And they gave me such a wonderful foundation. And then when an opening came up with Zimmer, I got recruited into that role. And actually a very smooth transition with the lab. They let me keep my company car until I got my new company car.
That's pretty awesome of them.
It was really amazing. And then they became a customer of mine as the lab.
Wow.
And so
you left on good terms, clearly.
Absolutely. They're a wonderful place. Like I said, that foundation of where they gave me a start in this industry, which...
Well, give them a shout out. Who is it?
Shearer Dental Lab.
Shearer Dental Lab.
That's right.
And where are they based out of?
They're in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and
are they full service?
They're full service, and the former owners passed away, and his son has been running it ever since.
Nice.
Yes, really great family. And so then I got into implant dentistry, made my way to number one in the company.
Nice.
And then,
well, that's embarrassing to me because I got, like, when I was at BioHorizons, runner up like 2 or 3 years in a row.
Yeah, that does hurt your feelings.
It does. It does a lot, actually.
Stings.
More than I'd like to admit.
And, I can still see a little bit of a tear in your eye.
Yeah, I'm not bitter at all.
Of course not. Of course not. It does hurt your feelings, but that was a great achievement. And then the merger happened between Zimmer and Biomet. And
those are always fun.
Yes, when people have been through mergers, there are some highs and lows. Mm-hmm. And I was having some personal transitions at the time when those mergers were happening too. And it was great for me to step away from implant dentistry. And I actually went into practice consulting with a woman who had her own practice consulting business for about 20 years.
Most reps don't do that, right? They go into another kind of sales role. But I would argue, and we talked about this in a number of ways, like top tier dental implant reps, especially when it comes to consulting, when it comes to just case acceptance and training, things like that. It's like this natural transition that I don't think most people would understand that. But you're trying to get your clients to sell high-end cases, and that forces you to understand the foundation of dentistry, the ecosystem to help them get better. And in doing so, you basically self-train to be a consultant too.
You're right. And consultant is such an elusive word that once I became one, my sisters wondered if I actually had a real job.
Thought you were a drug dealer, maybe.
That's right.
Yeah.
They really needed to understand more about what this consultant thing is, and you get people to pay you to do what now?
See, what's great about consulting, though, is everybody, I've done a few different consulting jobs, not like full time, but like, and I always tell them, like, they're like, thank you so much for telling me everything I do. I was like, dude, my part's the easy part.
This is the easy part.
You have to do it now.
Now you have to do it. That's right. And I really enjoyed the time I spent with her at her consulting firm. And my plan was to really buy her out ultimately. And after I did it for a couple of years, I really found I loved the treatment acceptance and planning, which of course goes hand in hand with being a rep and the implant sales. And that part was really interesting to me, but the components that were less interesting to me were those, like the math part. Let's go back to the math part.
Yeah.
Yes, where they needed analysis of
all the numbers and
spreadsheets and how much of the percentage of your entire wealth is going into your marketing or your consumable products. And that just made my eyes glaze over. But the people development portion of consulting was what I really loved. I loved just a story I can think of right off the top of my head. A young lady was from a very small town, and she was really looking for a better career for herself and her family. And she was an associate in a nursing home and really tough hours, tough environment. And she got on board with a dental office, and they said, we'll train you. And we were the consultants of the office at the time. And being able to take that young woman and see me be able to instill confidence in her to better her life, for a better career that had better hours for her and her family.
It's a huge deal.
And watch her rise as she was able to learn how to speak with patients better was very rewarding. And that was the part of consulting that I loved. It just got bogged down with a lot of the P&Ls. Well,
we talked about, I talked about this a little bit with Rick and Dr. Hunter Dawson at lunch today, right? About how I think how AI actually is going to be a benefit, not to replace employees at all, but you take somebody like you were just talking about, and then you take away all these annoying, repeatable tasks that just eat up time, that don't really serve. They have to be done, but they don't really serve to grow a practice, right? Like you're maybe following up with insurances or doing this or that, or sending out text reminders, and you can automate all that and then give them the time to literally focus on those soft skills or patient engagement and all of that. I think there's a really good opportunity there to take what you're teaching with those soft skills and really open up for them to really just go all in with it.
Absolutely. Well, a nice little plug for all in there. I really like that.
It happens a lot here.
It takes those draining tasks and turns the enthusiasm back into what is important to people, and that's helping patients and change lives. And that is restored when you can take away those menial tasks, like I said, that are draining, and return them back to something that is much more positive.
What was your favorite thing about being an implant rep, though? Was it like, did you have a favorite type of surgery? Did you have, what was your favorite part of that?
Great question, Shane, because what I discovered I missed tremendously as a consultant was being chairside in the surgeries and helping equip the assistants, make sure I knew the exact next thing that surgeon needed for a case and could advise on what would go well and what my experience and knowledge could provide to that case to make sure it was super successful.
I know that for a fact that you've saved cases by being there before.
I a good implant rep has the same story.
Yes,
And yes,
100
they have
times.
all done
Yep.
that to help save a case and make sure that it got placed in a much better position
yeah.
thanks to your eyes on it.
No, you're right. Because I that's the part I missed the most was actually the surgery, especially full arch, because that was
Same.
my focus.
Me
right?
too.
Because
Loved
it changes lives, right? It's transformative. But I was so good. Like nobody could load a multi-unit faster than me. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Back
sure.
to screw out, having
You're
it like
ready to go.
if there was a race, I would have got a gold medal at.
Yes.
And then within 6 months, like out of being out of the field, I came back to a case. I'm like, oh, I got you. You know, glove up, and I'm like, they're like, just let us do it, Shane. You're so slow.
You're so
it
slow.
fast.
You lose it fast. But that was really the biggest part that I missed from consulting is being chairside in those surgeries. So I loved that part too.
Well, I think, all right, let's transition now, right? So you were an implant rep and then you're a consultant, right? And so tell everybody let's start out with what is Clinicians Implant Academy?
Sure. Clinicians Implant Academy, and we chose that word very specifically because through the course of our implant sales days, your periodontists and your surgeons aren't the ones that are doing all the implants anymore.
Mhm.
Obviously, the market has changed dramatically, and many general dentists, endodontists are doing
I
some
know,
implants. That's always a
know.
little bit strange to me, but that's out there.
Well, it makes sense, right? Like
it does.
I saved what I could for a while, and now
Now
might
I'm
as well
gonna-
just pop it up, pop it in.
Which, for me,
Okay.
if somebody tells me I need endo, I'm just going to have Rick put an implant in. But
Well, I always ask that question. I was like, why wouldn't I just do that? Like keep your natural tooth as long as you can. Like, fine.
okay,
Keep my natural
well,
tooth. I made my wife get endo
did you?
for now.
Oh, okay.
Until it fails. And then
I
she'll
know
let me
I know a
but-
really great surgeon that can help her out with that.
Yeah, I do too. I met him. Yeah, he's
Okay.
your husband.
Yeah, that's right. And that's part of it. So the landscape has changed so much with implant dentistry that we didn't want it to say Specialist Implant Academy
Mhm.
plus CIA. We're a little bit
Oh, yeah,
nerdy
of
and
course.
we're kind of dorks that way. And
sounds
it's
cool.
really fun to be
Yeah.
that way. Mhm.
100%.
Yes.
So how did it come about?
So Rick is a wonderful educator, and
He is really, really good.
I know I'm biased, but being in the field and being exposed to so many different surgeons, so many different other educators, he's just got that spark to be able to provide an incredible education and convey that information in a way that people want to learn.
Yeah, listen, we both been to thousands of courses.
We have.
And there's a lot of good speakers, but I've been thoroughly impressed. Like I already knew he was a great surgeon.
Yes.
And I'd seen his videos online, things like that. But then I only got to see like partial of one because we were at a meeting and I had to go do another meeting. And so I got to see a little bit. I was like, oh, he's good. And then they get to see it like all day. You're like, oh my God.
Yes, he's great. And then his fellows that learn under him, they always, the handwritten notes we've gotten from all of them of the time that he spent to really develop
Well,
them.
I see you guys both interacting with like every person here and it's genuine. And I think that's part of it too.
Well, we love people and it is genuine. It's authentic and we're here to help them be better clinicians. And so the Clinicians Implant Academy was born. Rick has done a lot of speaking where he's traveled away. And our thought process,
And you guys have kids?
we have kids to be more entrepreneurial and better close to home, control that schedule instead of waiting for Strawman to call or Zimby to call or BioHorizons to call
Sure.
and fly to Texas or whatever. Let's just still partner with these companies that are great implant companies, but host these courses ourselves. And
Well, not
that's
just that.
how
You got a
the
cool
development-
facility. I'm excited to go tomorrow
do.
where you have a cadaver lab.
Yes.
The training center looks amazing too. So
Yes, and if you've been an implant rep, you've done some cadaver courses that are in the morgue or that are in the basement of a hospital.
just heads on tables.
That's just heads on tables, and it's a whole new story for your home life.
Yes.
After you've had one of those.
By
days.
the way, you disassociate completely.
You do
when you see the head of
disassociate.
the table. It's like a prop. It doesn't feel real.
It is bizarre, but the one of the labs where I worked and the lab attendant handed me a head and said, "Go put this on the table," and I thought, what happened in my career that this is where we are today?
Yeah.
But it was so cool and so amazing to be able to see what people can do in the labs to better their career, better their hands, steps, everything to transfer into better patient care. So because we care about that, the Clinicians Implant Academy is here alive and well, and we are hosting courses with either general dentists with some DSO companies. We host oral surgery platforms to
You
help
got a bunch of oral
provide
surgeons
there.
here right now.
Yes, this course is entirely filled with oral surgeons. We've got 18 in the next room.
Wow, that's crazy. So you teach specialists and you teach. So you have different levels of courses, obviously.
That's correct. We've got different levels for different needs. You know, there are some general dentists out there who are, you know, wizards at doing implant dentistry, and they may need a higher level course. But then there are other general dentists that are just looking to prepare an implant site better for their practice. They need some suturing techniques. They need to be able to graft that case to give the patient
100%.
an option. And that can really move the needle and add so much to their bottom line, but they're able to do it better with the right education.
No, and what I really like about what you guys do is it's not a weekend warrior course. Like if you're looking for a course that's like, all right, you know, we're going to let you put on implants in a sawbone model or whatever, and good luck. You know, especially, you know, when I was an implant rep early on, I was like, yeah, now I get to sell more implants. And then as I became more experienced, I'm like, no, because it's problems, right? Or they don't end up placing them right. But what you guys do, you have your level ups, but it's a progression.
It is a progression.
It's the only way you learn anything. You don't learn it all in one weekend.
Oh, no, not at all. And we are very specific in the progression. I'll jump ahead about a few chapters here to speak to that further. We don't want to just be that weekend warrior course. We do want to mentor and partner with you throughout your learning journey.
Yeah.
And this isn't for everyone. Not everyone is going to dive in and want to be able to do what it takes
To learn it the right way.
to learn it the right way. And great, there are those weekend warrior courses for them. But for us, you can go through this entire pathway.
And you're learning from specialists, from oral surgeons, from periodontists, from prosthodontists. You're looking experts like yourself in case acceptance and what I consider like a soft skill.
Yes.
Is Mickey Weaver too?
Yes, she's a part of our team as well, doing case acceptance. And she's also incredible with components with insurance to be able to help deal with the evil empire of insurance.
100%. Because I used to get those questions all the time. Like, I'm technically not allowed to tell you how to code.
Yes.
And it's confusing. Even if you have knowledge on it, it's still confusing sometimes.
So we're here for the clinician, but also the team. And to further illustrate our importance in that, we're taking a group of clinicians to Guatemala this fall.
So cool.
To be able to do implant surgery and to really dial in that we are not that weekend course. We have an infrastructure in Guatemala where we work with actually an expat nurse, chairside surgical assistant, and she married a Guatemalan dentist.
Oh, wow.
And so they have a family there, and
that's a sweet setup.
lots of roots. We have a wonderful surgery center where Rick has done dozens of cleft cases, not dozens of cleft cases. I meant dozens of journeys to Guatemala, hundreds of cleft cases.
There's not many people in the world that are known for that more than Rick is.
Outstanding there. But because we have the hospital situation there and we have local general dentists in the Guatemala, Antigua area, we're able to bring clinicians down to do the implant surgery after they have gone through multiple didactic and cadaver courses with us.
So you're doing the prerequisites to get
do
them ready
all the
for it.
prerequisites to be able to go and work on live patients. The feel good is we're not leaving them as dental orphans. These are patients that have been vetted by clinicians that we have vetted.
Nice.
Who will then have the appropriate follow-up care with specialists nearby.
So you're not just like, good luck.
Good luck.
You're handing it right back to somebody who's going to finish the case.
That's correct. And so we're able to really help serve the underserved in that area, and then them still get follow-up and get their implant crown.
That's huge, because that's not how it all works in some of those courses.
No, some of those courses are just literally they leave them dental orphans and walk away.
Okay, bye.
Exactly. And it's not appropriate for what we believe in to just practice on another human that way and leave them out to dry. So that's why we've come full circle with the way we've got these courses laid out.
So are these you say laid out. So are these like, do you guys just put on, hey, we got a course and you can just sign up for it? Or is it you call us, like if you're a group and we'll create a customized, like what is that?
Predominantly a larger industry partner pulls a group together and they bring them to us.
So like an implant company or one of
That's
the other
correct.
partners, and they bring a group, but you guys do them for like, say, a big DSO or group practice wanted to come in?
That's correct. Other clients of ours are big DSOs, and the group that we're taking to Guatemala is a big DSO.
But then do you also have like regular scheduled courses that any private practice can sign up for?
We would like to grow into that. I would like to make sure that all of the AI components that you are so gifted
Yeah.
at could schedule that for us.
I'm gifted at
because-
talking about it. Doesn't mean I can pull it off.
Well, you never know. It could grow into that. Right now, because we are a smaller company, we don't have the bandwidth to go chase enough people to fill a course of 18.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. So we've gone the smarter route, working smarter, not harder, and partnering with the implant companies to bring those clinicians that they see value in providing education to, because they know, and you and I know, it is going to transfer into more sales for them if they give them that foundation.
All right. So if you're private practice right now and you want to do one of these, doesn't mean you can't make your own group. You can
That's
talk to your
correct.
implant rep or go call a bunch of buddies.
100%. Call your buddies, get together, or really lean on that implant company that's got a good rep that's been knocking on your door and say, this is something I'm interested in. And if they get enough people involved, then
that's
they're
awesome.
bringing a course to us. We've got like 4 more throughout the rest of the year already.
So if they want to learn more about CIA, where do they go?
To our website, our Clinicians Implant Academy website.
Or
And
what's your Instagram?
our Instagram is Clinicians Implant Academy.
Nice. Good. Just follow them on social, everybody.
Yes, please do.
All right. So you got the CIA. You're president of that. We talked a little bit about that. And I'm going to have to move a little quicker now because you do have a course that you're running.
Yes, that's great.
But let's talk a little bit. I really like this. I don't want to call it a project because it's beyond a project now. It's gone on for a couple of years now, but the Southern Academy of Pediatric Specialists. And I'll explain why, I'll explain why right now. So I got to talk to Rick a little bit about this, but why don't you lead in first about what it is and why you're doing it? And I will tell you from a parent perspective, why I think it's such an amazing idea.
Sure. This stems back to Rick's biggest passion in life and helping others, is especially in the cleft lip and palate, the craniofacial affected community. When you have patients that are cleft affected or craniofacial affected, they don't get to just see one doctor and it's fine. They have to see multiple surgeons, specialists, therapists, etc. And Rick really loves that multidiscipline approach and the collaboration that goes with it. And he had this idea a couple of falls ago to do a continuing ed course and bring pediatric dentists and orthodontists together, and let's just see what happens. And it was so well received and so refreshing for these 2 different specialists who both deal with kids.
Yep.
And they have their own treatment plans, but to bridge that and bring them together. We're also interested in just business and what the horizons look like. And as my years wound down as a rep, I was seeing more and more of a trend away from these large national meetings where these, giant organizations are beating up the big players in the industry for multi-thousands of dollars to come set up a booth.
Yeah, give us $80,000, $100,000.
Yes,
and
to come see 4 doctors.
Yeah, it's
through.
a tough game.
So as we were watching the industry change in that aspect, and then of course, COVID changed a lot of the industry. People did online training forever and online CE, and they got sick of it. We're made for relationship and community, and providing a wonderful experience and opportunity for these 2 different specialist levels to come together and collaborate had such a spark and zeal in the room.
Yeah.
And people really came together. And so as that concept, with all of these backgrounds I mentioned, with bigger meetings, losing traction, people wanting authentic community, people needing a great experience and place to go, people wanting the best for their patients and in a collaborative fashion. That expanded from pediatric dentists and orthodontists to also speech pathologists,
Do you have ENT?
We do. We have pediatric ENT. Not every ENT deals with kids, but we've got some pediatric ENTs that come on board as well. And that's just been a tremendous collaboration to have all of these entities together. The enthusiasm is palpable in the room.
Yeah.
You're going to have to come to our meeting this year.
I'll be there.
And we also make it beautiful. Rick and I like things to be nice.
Yeah, you guys are way classier than me. I'll tell you that much.
Well, that's why we wanted to feed you well and make sure we take good care of you. Yes. And we want to make sure that experience transfers to the folks that are coming out for these meetings for us. So we have them in beautiful locations. We feed you really well. We've got good food and wine. That's all very important to us. And there's opportunity for both high-level collaborative education to cross those, to bridge those gaps rather between the two.
Because there is so much like gray area, right? So I'm a pediatric dentist, but and we're talking about the throat and like, well, I'm an ENT, but how would that, the formation of teeth or the structures and everything affect that? But they all play together, right?
They do. And everybody has a treatment plan, but isn't it so much better as the end consumer, if you will, as the patient's parents to be able to hear from all 4 specialties that are dealing with their child, but getting one piece of paper that says, we've talked to all 4 of these people, and this is what's going to be best for your child.
As opposed to one person gives you this, and you have 4 separate ones, and you don't know, you're not trained.
Trying to stitch it all together. By having the Southern Academy of Pediatric Specialists, we are able to put all of those great people in a room together. They build community, they exchange numbers, and they start
Ideas
collaborating.
And things they've seen. That's the cool part.
That's it. And they collaborate on these cases, and it turns into a much better experience for the patient.
I'll tell you a personal experience of mine. My oldest son had all these airway issues. Like he had ENTs. Like we went from specialist to specialist and just, we lost it. Like and my wife's a PA and we still couldn't figure it out.
You were a much higher IQ of a medical community person than the next guy out there. And it was frustrating for you.
So crazy. And it's my kid and they're, a toddler. And I'm like, all you want to do is make sure they're good. And so as a parent, you're just, you tell me what to do, doc. Like, I don't know what to do. And so luckily we found a pediatric ENT who called a pediatric dentist, who called our pediatrician and got them on the phone. He's like, this is the only way to do this. But this was way before this. And, and he's like, we've all come together and we figured out, and it turns out that worked. Right?
It did. And what a relief for you as a parent to finally
that ENT
get that
forever,
information. Oh, they walk on water now.
100%.
It's a big deal. And so we're providing an avenue for that in a very specific way. And it's tremendous.
No, that's awesome. So when is your next conference?
Our next conference is early November. It's a Friday, Saturday. I'll have to look at my phone to tell you, but we will add that to the show notes. I'm sure that you have.
100%.
And it's in Charlotte at the Mint Museum. It's a beautiful location, cool. Top floor. We have a wonderful reception the night before at this very bougie lounge.
Ooh.
Yes, it's a nice speakeasy. So we have the
I'll
whole
definitely be there.
lounge to ourselves. And that's a welcome reception. One of the other things I want to mention to you, Shane, is that because of my background in the field, in the industry, we want to make sure that those vendor partners that sponsor our SAPS meeting are part of everything we do. That
only comes from somebody who's been on the other side.
That's correct. And so we bring in those industry partners. They come to that reception on Thursday night. They get to mingle with all of the clinicians.
I love
that
it
are
when
there.
meetings don't treat like those
You
are the
stay
sponsors.
over here.
No, we're all here together.
I remember working the Virginia dental meeting years and years and years ago. And they literally had us down an escalator in a room so far tucked away from where the doctors were having the meeting. It was a vendor interaction symposium.
Give us your money and then let us put you in the basement.
That's right. Put you in the basement. And that made a huge impression on me years ago. And that's not what we are about. So our vendors are in the room with us during the continuing ed. They're not even at a booth outside. We've very specifically set up our visual of the entire meeting room so that the vendors are in and part of it. and they're interacting with the doctors.
Which you get a rep like you or me used to be like, there's some valuable information because
There
they've
really
seen,
is.
where an oral surgeon may have been in, 500 full arch. That's a lot. I've been in 1,000. Why?
Sure.
Because I can go to 5 in a day,
That's right.
and see good, bad, and different.
That's right.
And so you get to pick up and share a lot. So, and I've been impressed, like at this meeting with the vendors, like not only the vendors you pick, but the reps who are representing them are not just like, hey, buy this. Hey, but it's like part of the interaction, part of their relationship, and part of the education in a sense.
That's right. One of the vendors here today didn't even have to be here, but he just likes to be part of our meetings, and we support him and he supports us.
That's awesome.
And so that's the kind of welcome that we are for our industry
very
partners.
Cool. So I'm excited. And what are the topics, if you guys know them yet, for what's going to be spoken about at the next conference?
We do. So we had, last year was pediatric airway.
Nice.
And so that, I wish we had known
huge
then
one.
for you, because
I know,
we would have
right?
invited your folks that helped your son. This year, it's all on AI and dentistry.
Nice.
What a great topic.
What a great topic.
Gosh, I wonder if I could invite somebody from All In to speak.
Yeah, Blake, he's much more well-versed on AI than me.
You know, it's wonderful to nominate
He's not as
someone.
good looking, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, obviously, but it's always nice to nominate someone when they're not in the room.
Yeah, well, no, and I'm happy to be there and do anything for you. If you want me to show you how to turn somebody into like a clown or something with AI, I can do that. I'm
Okay.
really, really good at that.
That's
and I think
very
that's
cool.
applicable to pediatricians.
It is. And pediatric dentists and orthodontists, they're
Yeah.
the fun ones.
Oh, 100%.
They're much more
I love
the
our
fun ones.
pediatric clients. There's so much. I was telling you guys about that last night.
Yeah.
You're like, I get to do stupid, fun, hilarious stuff, and it's perfect.
Yes. Yes,
But-
it is.
So if you are, you guys having pediatricians there too?
We are opening it up to them this year.
Nice. I think that's a great idea. So you're a pediatrician, pediatric dentist, orthodontist, pediatric ENT. What else am I missing?
Speech.
Speech,
Yes.
right? Speech therapy, pathologist. I don't
Both.
even know. Okay, perfect. So if you're any of those specialists, like this is a very unique situation that you can establish. I mean, the networking alone, having those contacts to bounce back, but the ideas that come, and I think the biggest part of it all is the outcome of this will improve children's lives or save lives, which to me is like, wow, what a great outcome.
It is a great outcome.
Yeah.
It's something everybody can get behind.
So what's the website if they want to go learn more about it?
Sure. It's the Southern Academy of Pediatric Specialists.
Southern Academy, and that's the southernacademy.com, right?
That's correct.
And then same thing on social too, I believe.
That's
right?
correct.
So follow them, everybody. See, I'm working with Whitney and Rick and trying to make sure that they send everybody their social media channels too.
Yes, we need to be better at that. So
You're-
thank you
you're
for the
about-
shout outs and the
yeah.
plugs. You're doing great.
Well, before the hands-on that's about to start in just a second, so we'll need to get out of here. I want to finish this up with a game, if that's okay with
Sure.
you. You sure?
I hope so.
Oh, you hope so. So tell me if this game's called Famous Whitneys. Have you ever played it before?
No, I have not.
That's because I made it up today.
Okay,
So
fun.
perfect.
I do know one famous Whitney
Yeah,
already.
you'll probably get that one right.
Okay.
By the way, there's not as many famous Whitneys as I thought. So good luck. So what I'm going to do is give you a description, and you're going to tell me Whitney's somewhere in the name, right? So it could be a company, could be a person, we don't know, right? So you ready to start? There's
I'm ready.
5. You think you can get them all?
I do not think I can get them all.
Okay. Well, we'll find out. Have confidence in yourself. Pretend you're back in implant sales.
Well, can I maybe cheat and
Nope.
guess
Nope.
for one?
You can guess for all of them.
Okay,
All
let's
right,
go.
so let's get going. All right, famous Whitneys with Whitney Kapitan. All right. So she's saying, I will always love you. Also, she was married to Bobby Brown.
That would be Whitney Houston.
That would be Whitney Houston. Well done. That was your softball.
That is the softball.
Everybody knows Whitney Houston. Okay, this is where it starts getting a little more challenging.
All of the rest of them
Yeah.
would be my
Well,
guess.
She's a podcaster, an actress, a writer, and a producer, but she's most well known as being a salacious stand-up comedian.
I have not heard of this famous Whitney.
Whitney Cummings.
Okay.
She's actually hilarious. You should look at her.
I'll have to
Yeah,
check
she's
her out.
actually
I
pretty
mean,
good.
she clearly has a cool name.
She does. So cool. Cummings is a great last name. Gotcha. She didn't like that one. Okay, let's
She's
go
a
on to the next one.
comedian. She's all over that.
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
on.
Okay, so he invented the cotton gin.
That's Eli Whitney.
Oh my God. So, okay, she's intelligent. She just doesn't know about Whitney Cummings. Stupid. Got it.
Yes, but I do know who invented the cotton gin.
Okay. This is the last one because there's literally not that many famous Whitneys. Okay, she's the president of the Southern Academy of Pediatric Specialists and Clinicians Implant Academy.
That is Whitney Kapitan.
She's a badass and a big deal. Congratulations.
Thank you so
3 out
much.
of 4. You passed.
It's good.
That is pretty solid. C+ in my book any day.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, I did the same game with Hunter and he did not pass. He did not pass at all. So, well, thank you for taking the time to be on the podcast at a very busy time for you. Guys, make sure if you're interested in learning more about getting implant trained by the CIA, go to cliniciansimplantakademy.com. If you are a pediatric specialist of pretty much any kind, make sure you check out the Southern Academy of Pediatric Specialists. I think you guys really do have something unique and special going there. And again, it's kind of like, for me, it pulls at my heartstrings because me and my kid could have benefited from something like that
Absolutely.
if it existed,
Sure.
back a decade ago.
And we are not stopping with the Carolinas for our Southern Academy. We are creating academies across America.
Oh, sweet.
Yes. So we are bringing this to Texas. We're bringing it to the Pacific
Nice.
Northwest, to Colorado, and then eventually kind of the Midwest.
Nice.
So we do have plans to
Go nationwide.
go nationwide because, again, we want this concept to be community-based.
100%.
It doesn't need to be a national
I like
meeting.
the regional
We want the
stuff.
regional stuff in a bougie place so everybody can collaborate and come together. So it doesn't stop here. But the South was our guinea pig, and we've knocked it out of the park.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for joining the All In Practice Growth podcast, and we will catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the All In Podcast. See you next time.